Right, this is Linton the Swarm Vassal, Bellator light heavyweight contender, and you're watching the MMA Crypt Fighting Talk Show.
Hey guys, you're watching the MMA Crypt Fighting Talk Show. My name is Gregory Stone, of course, the host of the MMA Crypt Fighting Talk Show. Now on today's show, we'll be speaking with Saul the Hammer Rogers. Saul's a member of the Cage Warriors lightweight roster. Saul was in the title mix of the Cage Warriors lightweight roster. Obviously, Stevie Ray's gone to the UFC now. Joseph Duffy, the other number one contender, who was sort of battling out. He's gone to the UFC now. So I want to talk to Saul today, whether he felt he should have been given a title shot over Joseph Duffy. If things don't sort themselves out at Cage Warriors, will he be going to the UFC? Will he hold out for the UFC? And speaking of Cage Warriors, will he stick around? Does he feel like he will be fighting for that company in the near future? If not, will he be looking to get fights elsewhere? He's just had one fight in Japan. We know Cage Warriors, they like all the fighters, have one fight elsewhere. Saul's obviously just took that, so I'll be talking to Saul about all that today on this interview. So without further ado, here we go. Saul the Hammer Rogers on the MMA Crypt Fighting Talk Show. Gregory Stone, MMAcrypt.com. On today's show, we have a regular on the MMA Crypt Fighting Talk Show. He is currently a Cage Warriors lightweight fighter, Saul the Hammer Rogers. Welcome to the show, Saul.
Hey mate, you alright?
I'm doing good, Saul. Okay, Saul, I introduce you as being part of the roster at Cage Warriors in the lightweight division. We've seen a lot of fighters leave that promotion, a lot of big names. It's looking a bit like Cage Warriors might go under at this point. They've allowed all the fighters one fight elsewhere at the minute just to buy themselves some time, bit of breathing room. Can you clarify your position with Cage Warriors right now?
I'm not even sure. I mean, I've had a few fights with Cage Warriors and I love fighting on it. I mean, out of all the promotions I fought on, that was my favourite. Like, I always had good guys, good lightweights and international fighters. So when I heard they wasn't really announcing any more shows, I was kind of gutted, but it is what it is. There'll always be more shows, more fights, so you just got to carry on. Hopefully Cage Warriors comes back and announces a lot more shows. If it does, I'll be over the moon.
Can I ask this of you? Because I have you down as contracted to Intensity Fight Management. Now, a lot of their fighters wasn't actually contracted to Cage Warriors. There was Jack Mason, he wasn't contracted to Cage Warriors, but he still fought for them. There was Jake Boswick, he was contracted to Intensity Fight Management and not Cage Warriors. So there's a lot of fighters what wasn't contracted to Cage Warriors. As we know, you're a part of the Intensity Fight Management team. Was you ever contracted to Cage Warriors? Did you have a legitimate contract with Cage Warriors? Or was you just fighting there as part of the Intensity Fight Management team?
Yeah, I think I had, I think it was 5 fights, sorry, I had a 5-fight contract with them over the period of 2 years. I only got to have 3, and unfortunately I had to pull out before one of my fights. That would have been 4, but I would have liked to have all the fights on there, but it's what happens. I was contracted to Cage Warriors, I was contracted to 5 fights with the promotion, so, but I would have been more than happy to finish that off with Cage Warriors.
Obviously, you can't say for sure whether you will fight Cage Warriors right now. It's obviously in Cage Warriors' hands and what happens there. But do you personally see yourself ever fighting for him again?
I'm not sure. I mean, if they come back and announce a load more shows, then yeah, why not? I mean, like I said before, I love fighting for them. They looked after me and give me great fights. So,
well, when Cage Warriors started to go under here, Saul, so you've got to feel really bad for you at the minute, Saul, because you were sort of in the mix for the lightweight title. Obviously, Steve Ray was the champion. The only 2 people in line for his title were yourself and Joseph Duffy. Joseph Duffy signed to the UFC, so I was like, oh yeah, Saul Rogers getting a shot now. Saul Rogers versus Stevie Ray. Then Stevie Ray left for the UFC, so really he was really in the mix for the title there. And it was like, okay, the title's vacated. It's got to be Saul Rogers versus somebody else. Then obviously we had that Graham Boyle and Ian Dean left, and it was like, well, where's the company at now? So are you a little bit disappointed to see the likes of Stevie Ray, Joseph Duffy go to the UFC, and the fact that you was up there in the mix with them, you know, it's going to be a little bit disappointing for yourself.
No, mate. If you ask anybody, like, I wanted the title. I mean, but more of, I'd rather have the best fights rather than the belt. You kind of get what I mean. I mean, it's all right being the Cage Warriors lightweight champion, and don't get me wrong, when they weren't mentioning any more shows, because I did personally think I was next in line for the title shot when they weren't mentioning any shows. I didn't really lose much sleep over it, because I always know there's going to be more fights. And it's just what it is. It's part and parcel. If you start letting things like that get you down, then I don't think you're going to be able to move forward. And in terms of Stevie Ray and Joseph Duffy getting signed to the UFC, I think it's a good thing. I mean, the good UK guys, and it just shows it's possible for everyone. So if I was up for basically fighting one of them guys, whether it would have been Duffy or whether it be Ray or anyone else of them top guys, and they've gone to the UFC, it shows that I'm of the same caliber, I'm on that same level, and I won't be far away. So I never get annoyed over like UK guys doing well. I mean, it's good really.
If Cage Warriors do go under, they don't exist no longer. Will you be holding out for the likes of the UFC or Bellator because you was on that level, you was in the mix with those guys, you see them getting UFC contracts? Will you settle for a couple of regional fights? Obviously, FCC are doing some good things in the local area at Bolton. Maybe that'll keep you busy, but would you really like to hold out for a big contract because you know you're on that level now, so?
No, I mean, I fought last week. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, in Japan.
Yeah, I fought over in Japan, and I don't really want to hold it. I enjoy fighting, and it's what I love to do. So I know some guys will have like a fight on like a local show, and then they'll wait. But I mean, it pays off for some guys, and then for other guys, they're waiting for years, you know. And you're letting basically the best years of your life slip away. So I'm not going to wait. It means if I was going to get signed to one of them big promotions, whether it be UFC or whatever, I'd have to be fighting the top level guys anyway. So I don't see why the guys hold out. I mean, if you can't beat the guys over here on the domestic circuit, then once you get to that big show, you're not going to do well and you're not going to last. So I just think take the fights as it comes, and fate will do its job really.
See, I don't want to directly ask you this question with you being contracted to another promotion, but do you like the things that Bama are doing at the minute? I won't ask you if you want to sign from, because that'll be cheeky to ask if you like to sign with Bama, because obviously Martin Stapleton's there and stuff. But do you like what Bama are doing at the minute, just because you answered that one for us?
A few of my teammates are fighting on Bama, and they love it, they enjoy it. And to be honest, I'm going to sound quite ignorant here, but I don't even really know what they're doing. I know they're putting on some great shows. I think Stapes said the last one he fought on, it was basically the best show he's ever fought on. He's fought on the likes of Bellator and all sorts, but I couldn't make that because I was cornering another guy from SBG, so I didn't really get a chance to look at it. But I've not been paying too much attention. I've just got, because it's not really my promotion, I've just kept my head down doing me kind of thing. But I've heard good things about Bama, but like I say, I just take it one fight at a time. I don't really get disheartened or excited. I just go through the motions, really.
Well, I think it's all about promotion with Bama right now, because they got the Spike TV deal. Obviously, it's very important to get your name out there, so you can be as talented as you want to be, but it's really important to get your name out there to the fans and for people to actually see your skill sets, you know. And Bama, they like to bring a lot of celebrities along in the crowd, etc. So that's really a place to get your name out there now with Spike TV. But if you stayed on with Cage Warriors, we were talking about Joseph Duffy before and Stevie Ray, the champion. Now, like I said, you was in the mix. It was a toss-up between you and Joseph Duffy. We know there was promoting Joseph Duffy like crazy, Cage Warriors were. So do you sort of feel like if Cage Warriors stayed as it was and it carried on, Graham Bonham stayed with the company and Dean stayed with the company, do you think you would have been next for the title against Stevie Ray, or do you think they would have given it to Joseph Duffy?
I'm not sure. I think the way it was getting promoted, they probably would have given it to Duffy and then give me like maybe a contender fight, and then if I won that, then I would have got to fight. Well, it would have won between Ray and Duffy. But like I say, I think everyone around me was more bothered about me fighting for the title rather than me. If you ask anyone, I don't say I want this, I want this, I just want to win fights. That is it. I want the best fights. I want to win fights. I mean, having a nice belt is good. It's a great achievement, but at the end of the day, it's just about I want to win fights. I want to fight the best guys and win fights. So, like what's happened with Cage Warriors or this people getting signed or me not fighting for the title, it doesn't matter because there's still going to be fights, and I keep my head down and just win fights. That's all I want to do.
Well, you mentioned you fight in Japan. Let's talk a bit about that. I know it's that Jim Warlord, another Cage Warriors guy. He actually went and fought in Japan, I think it was. Or it might have been South Korea. I'm not too sure. It's either Korea or Japan. But how did this fight come to be? Japan seems like a really crazy place for a UK guy to go and fight.
Sorry, what was that?
How did the fight come to be in Japan? It's quite a long way away to go and fight in Japan. Just how did that fight come to be?
Yeah, I'm not even sure how it even come about. I mean, I got offered it and I kind of snapped it up in a heartbeat, really. But it was a great experience, and hopefully I'll be able to compete a bit more over there.
So how was the trip then? I noticed that Carl Tanswell went with you. He looked rather excited in some of the pictures I've seen. Obviously, you must have been focused on the fight. But how was the trip, and how was like the culture over there, etc.? Did you do much sightseeing there, Saul?
Well, the trip was long. I think it was 22 hours travelling there. I mean, it was like 8-hour flight, and then you have a 3-hour stopover, and then another 11, 12-hour flight. But I kind of just stayed focused on the job. When I got there, I didn't really focus where I was. I couldn't take much in. People messaged me saying, "Marky, I can't believe it in Japan and stuff," but it didn't kind of seem real. Or I couldn't enjoy it until I fought, and after I fought, the day after that's when I did a bit of exploring, and I was kind of taken back by it all. You know, I had a chance to see the sights and kind of like take it all in, if you will. You know. But like everyone knows, before a fight, it doesn't matter if you're in my home of Bolton or Japan or wherever, your head's on fighting, so you're not going to enjoy it. But after the fight, it was one of the best things I've ever done.
Well, I noticed that Carl Tanswell said that you was rather quiet on the flight. You're not scared of flying there, so.
No, I'm not. I'm just not a big talker, especially before a fight. I just like to think and kind of just think and focus and kind of relax. I was more quiet because I'd not ate for 24 hours. I was starving. Every time the person kept coming around offering the food, I couldn't even eat it. I was probably just thinking about all the food I was going to eat after I weighed in.
Well, you talk about going check out the culture, but you had a few fans asking you for autographs. I noticed Carl said he probably don't know who I am. Obviously, you're a UK guy from Bolton. Unless they watch your fight there, they're not going to know who you are too much. But what's it like getting autographs from these fans all the way across the other side of the world? Must have been pretty crazy and mind-blowing in a way.
No, it was amazing. I mean, the Japanese fans, there's no other people like them really. They're really respectful, really polite. They really get behind their athletes and the fighters, and they show good support. It's a lot different than like some of the fans I've seen at some of the fight shows over here anyway. But yeah, signing autographs and pictures of everyone and stuff, it just added another element to the experience, really. Something I'll never forget anyway.
Could you give us a brief rundown quick of how the fight went, Saul? I know that you was the main event, but could you give us a quick brief rundown? I know you won the fight as the main event, but other than that, I'm not too sure what actually happened in the fight, how it got finished, etc.
Yeah, I was fighting a good Sambo guy. I mean, before I went out, the announcement was like some Sambo master, like saying, this year, this champion, this year, this champion. I kind of looked at Carl like, I hope we're not being stitched up here kind of thing. As soon as he come out, I wanted to go out and strike. Probably the only time in any of my fights I thought, right, I'm going to go out and actually throw my hands this time and enjoy it, instead of trying to rush and take it to the ground. And he's kind of, it was quite far away actually. He's kind of rolled underneath me and hooked my legs up for a leg lock. With him being Sambo, I knew he was going to be good at leg locks, but I didn't even get a chance to react. By the time I knew it, he was wrapped my leg up and I was kind of fighting to defend him like a heel hook and a knee bar. He kept switching between the two. Once I stabilised, I just unloaded my right hand and then finished it with like a TKO, a few punches to the side of the head.
So it sounds like you never even watched any footage on your opponent before you actually fought him. Is that correct?
Yeah, you couldn't find anything on him.
Was that more exciting for your Saul? Obviously, you're going in there not knowing anything. Obviously, you think he's some big Sambo master. So you're like, does it add to the adrenaline, the excitement? Like, whoa, I don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, but I don't watch any footage on any guys, me. I let my coaches deal with that kind of side, because it's like, once I start watching footage, I think you can kind of get fixated and you can kind of get hung up on stuff. So if the guy's good at one thing, I think that's in your mind all the time, and you can't fight to your true potential if you're already worried about one thing. I mean, Carl does his part, and he'll watch it and he'll kind of incorporate stuff into the sessions and stuff. So I'm kind of learning the game plan without learning a specific game plan. But
yeah,
as opposed to like researching and he's going to do this, he's going to do that. I think it just takes away from what you're going to do. Like I always say, if I'm the best I could possibly be and the sharpest I could possibly, it doesn't matter what he's going to do. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to make a difference.
So what was Carl's advice for this bout in Japan? Obviously he didn't get to see no footage, he just did what he had. What was his advice in the way to approach the fight? Obviously he said that he was going to strike.
We knew he'd be good on leg locks. I mean, luckily I trained with Matt Inman daily, so I mean he's got some of the best leg locks in the game, and every day I'm defending leg locks against him. And I'm talking every single time I roll with him, every single time I train with him, he's getting me in some sort of leg lock. So I think my defense from that, I actually own one because my defense from working with him is it kind of saved me in that fight 100%. So I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable when someone gets a grip on my leg. I don't really panic. Just kind of set and stabilise. But Carl, before we went out, it was on about set your weight and stabilise, and because we knew he was going to go for that. But I just didn't think he'd be as fast as he was getting under and getting to my legs.
Final question, Saul. When would you ideally like to fight again? Obviously, you can't foresee what Cage Warriors are going to do with you or what's going to happen with them, but would you potentially ask for another fight if it's over a certain amount of months? So say in 3 months if nothing's happened, would you more than likely go to Cage Warriors and say, look, could I have another fight outside the organisation again, please?
Yeah, like I said before, I just take it how it comes. I mean, we get offered the fights and then kind of deal with it then. I mean, I enjoy fighting. I actually love it, but I just think in the downtime, the times you're not fighting or you're not in camp, that's the times I think you learn the most and you take the most in and you grow and advance the most. So it's like, even though I love fighting, I love getting in there, and I want to keep winning. I enjoy training. I mean, even at a camp, I train twice a day, every day. I mean, so I'm growing, I'm learning. So it doesn't matter if I've not got the fights. I'm still learning and improving. So I just take it as it comes. Whatever it'll be, will be.
Okay, that's a wrap for today's show. As always, guys, thank you for watching.